So, having failed to score a single goal in the first 4 Premier League games, Villa now 3 points off the top of the table, beaten the leaders Arsenal at the weekend. They're coping with Europa League football as well. They've overcome all the issues involving PSR and with the likes of Emi Martinez as well. Coisty, you were there. This is nothing short of miraculous, is it?
They were great. They were great. I'll tell you where I am with it, Jeff, right? The question is, can Aston Villa win the league? Yes, is the answer to that. There's no doubt about it. Will they win it? No, I don't think they will, because I still think Arsenal will win it. You know, looking at it from both points of... In terms of the league, for people like you and I, brilliant it was. It was a brilliant result. And it was one of these games, you know, if it had been a draw, nobody would probably really have complained, although, as I said, I thought Villa better first half and finished the game better. But see, if you're an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't be too downbeat, Jeff. I genuinely wouldn't. 2 defeats they've had, an incredible free kick from Slobozlai in the top corner, and a 94th minute Buendia goal. So, you know, that can happen in football. I thought Odegaard played heck of a well at the weekend, and obviously Trossard going off, scoring and going off. So there's a lot of factors to take in. But the fact of the matter is, Arsenal have been great this season. There's no doubt about it. But we've said it all along, Jeff. They haven't won anything yet. I still think their squad is strong enough to compete in every front, and I'm not sure Villa is. But Villa's 11, 12, 13, 14 are more than capable and more than a match for anybody, as we saw at the weekend. I thought it was a great game.
It was. And I agree. I mean, I looked at the Villa bench at the weekend, and on that bench, 18-year-old George Hemmings, Andres Garcia, who's made 5 Premier League starts, Victor Lindelof, who came on but hasn't started for them, reserve goalkeeper as well, and I completely agree with you. But those on the pitch, I mean, apart from Martinez, who was excellent once again, Cash, Konsa, McGinn, Tillemans, Anana, Morgan Rogers, goodness me, they have been superb. And they have none of those players would be out of place, would they, in a title-winning side? Oh no, not at all. Absolutely not at all.
I stand by it. I think the first 11, 12, 13, 14 players, you know, more than capable. Well, they've seen it, Jeff. They've won 9 out of 10 in the hardest league in the world, and that is very, very difficult to do. But you did mention one player that I think is absolutely vital for them, and it's the goalkeeper. I think the goalkeeper, again at the weekend, he had one save where he just got a fingertip to it, which was absolutely remarkable. I think it might have been from Odegaard when he came in and hit it with his left foot. I think you've mentioned some great players there, and I totally agree with you. Cash, again, a couple of great efforts, gets his goal. Middle of the park, they're strong, and across that, McGinn, Tielemans and Rogers, different class, it really is. But if you ask me who I think their key player out of all those key players, it'd probably be the goalkeeper, mate.
Yeah, I couldn't argue with that. But the key figure at the football club, you have to say, is the manager.
Yes.
So he won the Europa League 3 times with Seville, once with Villarreal. He was runner-up in the Europa League with Arsenal. He won the French League with PSG. Finished 5th with Arsenal, by the way, as well in the Premier League. Took over at Villa on November the 22nd, 2 places above relegation. They ended up in Europe that season and made the Champions League the next season. So my question, Coisty, would be, where does he stand in terms of current top managers? Is he in the absolute top echelon? Is he just one below that at the moment?
One below for me. And the only reason I'm saying that is, I think the top, you look at boys like, you know, well, the perfect example right at the top would be Ancelotti. You know, I don't think you can compare to Ancelotti, right? So therefore, I think you have to be one below that. And by the way, that's not a crime, and it doesn't mean you aren't a good coach, because he is absolutely top class. Unai Emery is a top class operator, Jeff. There is no doubt about that. But if you're talking about the elite of the elite, you know, when you're winning the 5 top leagues and you're winning the Champions League as a player and a manager and a coach, like Ancelotti's done, I think he's, you know, the level, or he's the guide for the highest level. And I don't think he's there, to be honest with you. But that said, He is one of the, yes, he is without doubt one of the best coaches around at this moment in time. And Aston Villa are very lucky to have him. And do you know something? Listening to him and watching him, I think he's absolutely thrilled with what he's got and the way things are going at Aston Villa. Although he's probably still, like a lot of managers, a little bit upset. He's, he could be probably doing one or two more players to strengthen his squad.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that as well. But what I love about him is that he's a winner.
Yes.
And in the game against Arsenal, the changes he made were so aggressive. 87 minutes. You're 1-1 against the Tide, who's top of the table. You take off Matty Cash and you put on Emi Buendia. I mean, that takes some bottle and some attitude.
100%. You are absolutely right. And I even mentioned, I was watching the game, I was looking at the substitutions and I went, woof, fair play. Because if it goes the other way, you can get a little bit of criticism. But you're right, he was 100% focused on winning that game of football.
Yeah. And by the way, whether they win the league or not, at the moment, 5 points clear of Chelsea, 7 points clear of Liverpool in terms of Champions League, the bigger picture, if you like, which most people at the start of the season would have said was beyond Aston Villa. Well, it certainly isn't beyond Villa right now. That's a key period coming up for them, isn't it? That period over Christmas where they go to Chelsea and they go to Arsenal just, 3 days after that. But I have to say, this is a Villa side playing with so much confidence and such a lack of fear. You do wonder if they could go there and upset them both.
Wouldn't be the biggest surprise in the world, would it? I'll try to have a quick look. I think they've got West Ham and United coming up as well. I mean, their games are massive. But the fact, I think, Jeff, was even more remarkable about the whole situation. Unless I'm mistaken, I don't think they scored a goal in their first 4 games.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
I mean, what a turnaround. Yeah. What a turnaround. And I've got to say, I thought Watkins played well, but I thought the substitution, Daniel Malin, I just thought he gave them a different problem when he came on, Jeff. He was in their faces. He was aggressive. He was taking it in. I thought the substitutions, Unai Emery's substitutions overall, were absolutely of a high standard. I definitely think Arsenal, the missing the centre backs, I don't think there's any doubt about that. I thought right at the start, looking at it, I definitely think they're stronger than they've been. With a squad of centre-backs, but I can still see a gap between their top 2 and the rest.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question. No question at all that injuries are taking a toll on Arsenal, with, particularly the centre-backs, the 3 of them as it is now. And then Trossard, who came off the bench, scored, and then went off injured again. So no doubt about that. But from a Villa perspective, well, let's hear from Unai Emery, shall we? Because after that last kick victory over Arsenal, he was asked what Villa's targets are for the league campaign.
To compete game by game, which teams are contenders to be, and how we can get our demand, our consistency through each match in 30 matches. And of course now we are in really good position. 2 months ago we were in the bottom. And of course now we are feeling better, feeling stronger, feeling confidence. The players there as well increasing their level. We are setting our standard high. Our level setting high in everything. And try to be fluent.
Darren has texted in with a really interesting question on this, Ali.
Yep.
He says, as a Palace fan, another cracking win for us. But talking of Arsenal, do you think Unai Emery would have won the league at Arsenal already had they not got rid of him in the fashion they did?
Oh.
What a great question.
Oh, it's a brilliant question. Jeff, I'm not sure. I actually don't know. I genuinely don't know. I really don't know. You're effectively asking, the question is, could they handle that squad of players better than Mikel Arteta? And the answer is, I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Look, let's just round this off by asking you a far less in-depth question, a much more simplistic one. Where will Villa finish?
Third.